Hello everyone, are you ready for another anime recap? Then subscribe right now to this Anime Plots YouTube channel and watch this full video. Did you subscribe? Okay, let's start the video.
An army of ripped men chant in the rain while holding Yakido, who has been sealed in a wooden ceremonial container. Two of the members tells the leader that his successor has been brought. As he addresses the crowd, it is revealed that he is Yukido's father. His son will be entering the ritual of Musubi. He screams as he bounces off the cliff, falling face first. As he sinks into the depths of the ocean, his life begins to flash before his eyes. He chants some words from the cult and finds himself in a new location. Aluril greets him good morning in a unique way. Yakido assumes she knows all the typical transportation tropes and asks Aluril the location of the Adventurers Guild. She just takes it as he wants to work in the village, so she shows him the way. He follows thinking he's going to be an adventurer in an alternate world with swords and magic. This is something he has always dreamed of. His excitement is taken down a notch as he finds himself farming. He wonders if this is a quest as it's too boring of a start. His thoughts are interrupted when Roy puts on the tough guy act to intimidate Yakido. Clen breaks his character by hitting and telling Roy to stop hassling the new guy. Yakido uses the surplus grapes to make happy juice. It is there in such abundance that Aluril's older sister Sayuril creates a human pyramid and pours the drink over them to enjoy. It has been a month since Yakido arrived. Although it is not exactly what he wanted, he thanks his god for sending him to this world. Aluril looks at him confused because she doesn't know what that word means. He later takes a stroll in the woods as he reveals that this world doesn't have the concept of gods, religion, or any sort of spirituality. The trio visit the imperial capital. He also advises him to avoid talking to anyone from the city. He explains that their village is despised. As he looks around, he notices everyone glaring at them. Yakido sees a group of people in the square, so he goes to have a look, and to his surprise, he sees guards standing behind some men who take a substance which ends them. The guards check and announce to the crowd that the day's end of life has concluded smoothly. Aluril pulls him away as he looks distressed. She lets him know that the country has what is called the end-of-life system. When the country orders it, the chosen people must delete themselves. Roy adds that they are kind of special, so they get treated differently, but the following morning, Yakido wakes up to find that the place is empty, so he wonders if the girls didn't open for business. He makes his way out and finds Roy badly beaten on the floor. The guy tells him that the girls have been taken. Since they are looked at as deviants, they are not instructed to end their lives. Instead, they have it forcibly taken. With tears in his eyes, he reveals that today is Aluril and Sayuril's day. Unfortunately, at the capital, Sayuril has already been lost as her sister watches in shock. He gets angry when he sees the state of Sayuril and asks why is it that they have to suffer. Bertrand steps forward stating that they are deviants who fear the end of life, and it shouldn't be so because the citizen must embrace it. After listening to him, he figures that the thought patterns are just like a cult. Before Yakido can react, he is taken out by the high ranker, and he then ends Aluril. As the two bleed out, Yakido grabs his protective necklace and pleads for Mitama to save them. His pleas are heard, which summons her into the world. She drops down happy that Yakido finally called her, but she gets angry when she realizes that he's dead. She uses her power to engulf Bertrand and his men for their transgression. The goddess then brings the two back to life, which surprises them. She disturbs Yakido a little before formally introducing herself. Wasn't planning on reviving anyone else but Yakido. The others were just a byproduct of her overflowing power. Yakido looks down at her a little surprised that she could bring back the dead to life and wonders if she's a god. The capital residents just witness the miracle but turn at once, leaving the area as if nothing happened. Yakido notices and finds their behavior odd. They later return to the isolation camp. The others are shocked to see them alive even though they are a little ruffled up. Yakido sits with Clen, wanting to be filled in on the important details about the country. He still can't fathom why there is a compulsory end to a person's life. The resident explains that the end-of-life system was established hundreds of years ago by the Emperor and the Parliament. They are confused about who the stranger is, so he explains that she came from the same country as him and adds that they have known each other for a long time now. Roy sees Mitama and becomes infatuated with her, but she rejects him so hard that his reaction disgusts everyone. She offers to show him how she creates a flood, but Yakido rushes to stop her, thinking that she's about to cause a lot of damage. However, to his surprise, it only moves the happy juice in a cup, which spills all over Roy, who still lies there devastated by that rejection. Yakido is a little underwhelmed by that display. She too notices something is wrong, so she casts a spell on the table that tells her the number of followers she currently has. She can't believe that the number is 0. Mitama explains that the more followers a god has, the more powerful they become. So with 0 followers, there isn't much she can do. This only makes Yakido mad because she should have known that she was coming to another world so she wouldn't have any followers. Mitama turns the table asking why the number is 0 since he's around. He looks away a little embarrassed as she complains. She used the last of her powers to save his life and he doesn't believe in her. Yakido has decided that he will make her a deity by creating a religion and making her the first god of their current world. They target Roy first as they talk to him. He's too busy in his world. Nevertheless, he hears everything and agrees to become their first follower. Mitama checks and he has been countered. She is happy but attacks Yakido for not believing. Aluril rushes in with their poison pet. Yakido suggests that they take it to the vet. Sayul rules that option out, explaining that the high powers don't care for non-human lives. They also don't have the medicine or the knowledge to treat her, so there is nothing they can do. the sisters get a little upset because it's like family to them. Chil coughs out a green substance and begins to leave the world. The sisters' cries touch Mitama, so she decides to use all the power she gained from her only follower to revive their pet, and it works. But it turns the goddess old. The sisters are grateful for the kind act. Mitama checks her follower count and it's up to 3, but the amount of power flowing through her is ridiculous. Yukido is shocked that she gains so much power. The goddess herself notes that this is not normal. She speculates that the sisters must have some kind of special ability. He starts to think that maybe the way someone becomes a follower is also a factor that affects the amount of power Mitama can use. The sisters became followers after seeing the goddess's powers firsthand. On the other hand, Roy is obsessed with Mitama, so he is more down the worship route. She gets too ecstatic with her power up and promises to get revenge on those who didn't give her a chance. Aluril pleads for a favor. She wants Mitama to revive the men they terminated during the sisters' rescue, but Yukido is a bit reluctant since they are the enemy. Aluril believes that they were just doing their job. Shiruriru is also okay with it and even feels like some might become allies. Yukido thinks back to how dangerous Bertrand was. Mitama revives everyone, and they come back to normal apart from Bertrand, who is now in a female body. They are all a bit confused and he's not happy with the turn of events. Things continue when Adder, who is a member of the Emperor's army, uses her cybernetic-like abilities to swiftly deal with one of the strange beasts. She alerts HQ that the task has been completed and is assured that the Emperor will be pleased with her work. Meanwhile, at the capital, Bertrand arrives in his new female form, announcing his return to the guard at the gate. The guard knocks her to the floor, not believing the words that come out of her mouth because he knows Bertrand to be a man. Bertrand spends the night in the wilderness. Roy emerges from the bushes, interrupting her thoughts. He teases her because earlier on, she was talking big about how she would annihilate the village. With a smug look on his face, he also notices some other things, but Yukido comes in and Judo throws Roy into the tree, knocking him out before he can even think of transgressing. Yukido offers his hand for her to join them as he needs her help. He entices her by promising to create a place for her to stay. Later on, the villagers are attacked by a strange beast while they tend to their farm. Bertrand saves them when she descends with an attack on the monster's head, which halts its charge for a moment, but it recovers after a short while and begins an even more aggressive charge toward her. Bertrand activates her sword and slices it in half with ease. Yukido and Mitama watch on in shock at what they are seeing. Everyone praises her for saving them. He carries on using crafty methods to get people to join, like persuading Aluril to make it so that only members can drink the happy juice from the tavern. More people join as a result, which is music to Yukido's ears. He next creates an insulated pot that preserves food that is placed inside. Silul tells them that they can get one if they join the religion. By the close of the day, Mitama checks her follower count, and to her surprise, she gained over 100 followers as a result of Yukido's hard work. Yukido later stands alone on a cliff. He is joined by Bertrand. She reveals that it is not the numbers that make the Imperial Army formidable, but the Archons. They are a small elite division that the Emperor has direct control over. Yukido is interested to know if they are stronger than Bertrand. She confesses that she is nothing in comparison to them because they have been bestowed special powers directly from the Emperor. Adder confronts her colleague called Loki for making her chase after the strange beasts. Adder suspects that Loki is trying to buy more time because she is planning on revolting against the Emperor and the Parliament, but she dismisses the accusation, stating that she's a loyal servant. Bertrand does some recon around the village and is surprised that the capital still hasn't attacked the isolation camp. Her thoughts are interrupted by Adder, who has finally arrived at the village. She gets in a defensive stance, knowing that Adder is not from the village. She's very wary because she could sense her presence. Adder checks the database and confirms that the lady standing before her is Bertrand, former captain of the 6th Regiment. Adder is confused about the sex change, and Bertrand is surprised that she figured out who she is. Adder doesn't understand the situation, but she just labels her as a rebel and attacks, but Bertrand dodges. But after a brief exchange, she gets defeated and is dragged by Adder to the village. She looks at the village and is perplexed by what she sees. The villages are using tractors and wind turbines, among other things. That brings the episode to an end.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.